Hello, I'm Konrad Ejbich, and this is Pro and Con. My guest today is GM Pooch Pucilowski. Pooch is Chief Judge for the California State Fair wine competition.
But only for the last 25 years.
Only for the 25, yeah. So every year, Pooch oversees a super panel of 60 international judges.
We're up to 72 now.
Okay. In one massive event space. You're still in one room.
Still one room.
Okay. Over 4 days with 15, I guess you're now up to 17, 18 panels?
18 panels.
18 panels, I was going to say 15, plowing their way through over 3,000 California wines.
We in numbers, we're under 3,000.
Under 3,000, still 3,000, 4 days, 72 judges, hundreds of staff. And
well, we have more double our staff over the judges that we have, so it's about twice as many.
Yeah, and everything runs smoothly and efficiently.
How lucky can I get?
Yeah. Welcome to Pro and Con.
Thank you.
Thank you. So in California, we taste, 'cause I'm one of the judges. I have been over I don't know how many
years.
Many years.
Yeah.
Not every year, but every year. But every so often. We taste according to the Peterson method. Can you briefly describe how it works?
Well, the Peterson method is a method to try and relieve the amount of wine that a judge has to do in decision making. Let's go back to what normal competitions would do.
I was going to ask you, how does it differ from local and international competitions?
Generally, we have wines are tasted in flights, okay? So you get a flight of 10, 11, or 12 wines.
Recently I had 35, 36.
Well, but in normal flights, in normal places you get, 9, 10, 11, 12 wines at a flight, and you judge those wines, all right? And each one you're judging. In the Peterson method, we will bring out 30, 40, or 50 wines in a flight. And the idea behind it is that you let me just say, as Dick Peterson would say, well, wouldn't it be nice if we could taste all the wines in order from good to bad, right? But they're random, and there's no way that you can do that, right?
Right.
So this Peterson method is designed to smell all the wines, and as you smell each wine, you put it into 1 of 3 categories. Wow, this is really good. This is not so bad. These are not so good.
Not so good. Like there's no chance for this thing going further.
So you go through and you just smell the wines, just based on those 3 parameters. Then you go to the best pile, and you smell them again, and you sort of rank them. Like, wow, I like this. Wow, this one's better than that one. This one's, you know what, I'm going to put this one back in that second pile. So you're going to move things around. It's easier, obviously, we've had glasses here to do this, but so you use your menu, and you keep smelling. And so you basically smell the wines in an order of where you think the quality is.
Right, you're ranking them based solely on smell. Yes.
Then, after you do that, then you go into actually tasting wines, and lo and behold, they're more or less in an order from the best to the worst based on smell, but you still got to taste them. I mean, you may put that baby in your mouth and go, wow, it tastes good, but whoa, is this bad? And you may put it back in this pile of not very good wine. So.
Is that because it's easier to taste good wine over bad wine?
That's how winemakers do it. I mean, winemakers try to figure out how to sort their wines and try to do the best job they can, and it's less fatiguing because in the other system where you have 10 or 12 wines, you are literally having to smell it, taste it. Smell it, taste, score, come back to it again. And you keep doing it. And so you're going to do 35 wines. You're going to do and taste 35 wines. Well, I'll tell you, doing this system, you may decide not to smell some of the old, or not to taste some of the wines that are in the third pile. Mm-hmm. You may just say, okay, well, I'm not going to have to taste. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, and I have a bit of a problem with this. One wine may be a little closed.
And sometimes that happens. You won't when you taste it. When you taste the wine.
In other words, in the end, you're still going to taste all those bad ones just to check to see your man.
And when you taste it, and just being closed isn't a reason to put the wine in the bad pile.
Right.
Okay. You may understand that. Well, everybody knows that the closed wine. So you may put it in the middle pile just so you'll taste it to make sure. I guess the stuff on the third pile are sort of things that just smell pretty bad to begin with. That's all, or not varietally correct. Let's say.
Okay.
So.
Now, in the early days, we would taste easily over 100 wines in a day.
Right.
But you've reduced that a lot.
Well, what we've done is we have tested our judges for the last 8 years.
Yes.
And we have discovered that, well, we don't know what makes a good judge, but let me just say that, I'll be very frank with you, okay? We as a group of judges, and I include myself, are not very good.
Well, that's what I want to ask.
We are not very good.
Consistent am I? Pretty bad.
No, not bad. But none of us are very good at it. And the reason we're not very good at it is because we're human. I don't know if you knew that or not. But
kind of.
Yeah, okay, you got that. Okay, so, but because we're human,
have good days, have bad days.
Exactly. We are not able to really in a 12 wines, and you got a couple same wine in a pile. You're not able to pick out that wine in that pile every single time.
Every single time.
And the problem is, we don't know what the problem. We don't know what causes it. It could be fatigue, could be too much wine, could be tiredness, could be because you just had a wine that had a lot of acidity, and the next wine is the wine that we've duplicated, and it's got a lot of it's not so acidic, and so it tastes a little soft. And then later on, you get to the same wine, and it's following a wine that's very soft. And you know what I mean? Could be
there's
lots of reasons. There's
around.
all kinds of factors. So we really don't know what the reason is. So my job is to try different things and move things around to try and find what it is that may be causing it that would give us better results.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do.
Right.
So in order to do that, this is why we have dropped the wines. Get back to your question. We're down to about 75 wines a day for the judges. There are other competitions that I judge. They do 130, 140, 150 wines. I'll tell you what, my teeth hurt after doing 150 wines. It's a hard job to do. So doing 75, judges are going a little slower. They still have the same amount of time, and we tend to get a little bit better at things. But
how many wines does it take before the judge is actually rolling into it? How many?
One.
Just one. Just one?
But you're a professional.
I know. Okay.
Get going, man.
I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. But I'm a professional, but I'm not consistent, and I'm not always accurate.
Well, none of us are.
So
once you know that none of us are, then it's okay to be what you are. But let me just say, if you got 12 wines, and you pick up, this is the very first wine that you pick up and you taste it, okay, you taste it, you may make your scores, you go through the rest of the wines, and then you come back to that wine and make it your 13th wine, and you retaste it, because by that time you've tasted a lot of other wines and you have to recalibrate how that first wine actually came across.
Right, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to taste that wine after several different wines, just to have different
absolutely.
factors.
So every judge understands that the first wine in the box is the hardest wine to judge, and usually doesn't do very well. But we all know that. So you just compensate by going back around and tasting again. That's very easy.
Now you know this because you did some pretty heavy duty research on judges. While we were judging the wines, you were judging us, you and a group. And
as I said, we've been doing it for 8-9 years.
Yeah, so some of the results appeared to be pretty shocking when they came out. The judges are inaccurate, blah blah blah. They're inconsistent. But put that in a proper context. I mean, in groups, there's an overall accuracy.
We are better tasting as a group than we are individuals. What was funny, if I can just kind of give you it's a U-shaped curve, okay? You have a tasting, okay, of judges, okay? The U-shaped curve.
Remember, it looks reversed to you. This way, actually. And then the curve.
Okay, so we're U-shaped curve. So over here, on this wing of it, you have judges that are extremely good. They just nailed it, right? Then you have the majority of judges on the top, where most of them judge. And then you have judges over here on this end that aren't very good. Okay. Now, wouldn't it be cool, we thought, that if you take these judges that are the best ones and have them teach the rest of them, that maybe we could do that. Okay. So you do this again the next year, right? Well, unfortunately, the judges that were here last year have now fallen back into this end of it.
Right.
And we have a new set of judges in this end.
Right. The constant
we don't have one judge that appears every year that is very good every year all the time. Right. Now, on the bottom end, where the negatives are, judges that are in that pile are always in that pile. they're always bad.
Right.
In comparison to the rest of the judges. So there's no, I hate to use the word super taster, but we have not found a judge that's so good that they're always accurate.
Right.
They just sort of fall back in with the rest of us. So we're all pretty good, but we're not as accurate as we would like a machine to be. That's the problem.
Yeah, although the machine can't get any nuances that we can. We
so,
can't do anything.
All I can say is the judges are honest. They truly try very hard to do the best job they can. And just, Conrad, if you have an argument with your wife before you go judge wines,
oh boy,
the wines are going to taste different to you. You could be upset, or you could be mad, and that reflects in the tasting. So I mean, there's all these things that come into somebody judging wines, and there's no one thing that says, well, that makes you a bad judge and that makes you a good judge. Well, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Now,
we're dealing with humans. I told you that. Right?
Totally. And you're making I think easier for them than most other competitions. Most other competitions, I get water and bread. And you also provide snacks of
such snacks, celery,
my favorite, celery, roast beef, the olives, the Grover's Graper olives, 100% if you can find them.
And you want to do a commercial? Do a commercial for Graper olives. I would do that.
Yeah, everybody loves them. But anyways, tell me about how each of those little snacks, olive, celery, roast beef, work for judges.
Let's go the opposite end.
Okay.
We don't serve cheeses. Mm-hmm. Now, have you ever heard that cheese and wine go together?
Oh, they go great together, but I mean, I've also you sell wine on cheese, you buy it on apples.
Absolutely, because it makes the wine taste better.
Yeah.
So do we want wines tasting better? Do we want wines that taste exactly the way they're tasting? We don't serve wines. We don't serve cheeses because we don't want to influence the judge's palate, okay? So we don't do that. So we want neutral things: celery, bread, crackers, roast beef only to take the tannins out of it. And you're not, I don't know when you last judged, but we've now come out with something called bug juice. And it's got some vitamin C in it, and it's got some other things that are made to be sort of a neutral thing that you put in your mouth, swirl it around, and spit it out. You don't drink it. It's not meant to be drunk. It's just meant to be
just rinse the palate.
To bring your palate back to its neutral state. That's what we try to do. Yeah. And we've been doing more of that than anything else, and that sort of works. And then some judges say, oh, well, it's too strong. Great. Pour some water into it and dilute it.
Yep.
Or if it's not strong enough, usually it's strong enough, so we don't have any problem with that. But so we continue to try different ways of getting it better for the judges to make it easier for you to judge the wines.
Yeah. Well, one year that we judged, I think I was on the panel, but I had to leave early, so I wasn't there in that final best of show thing. But that was the year $2 Chuck.
Yes.
The top prize.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I thought that was both hilarious and wonderful.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful too.
Yeah.
But not all the wineries in the industry thought it was wonderful.
Of course,
some very big names in the industry said they'll never enter their wines again because that wine happened to win. But I can explain how that happened. I mean, there were probably, if we have time?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
We'll make time.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna do this just so I can start the camera again. We're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come right back.
Commercial break.
Well, I have no commercial. Well, we will. We'll talk about Menage a Trois from Scott Harvey. Okay, we're back at, let's have the commercial break then. This is Scott Harvey. This is Scott Harvey Menage a Trois.
No, it used to be. He invented it.
Scott Harvey created it. It's now owned by Sutter Home.
Yeah,
and just to add a little more to the commercial, it's Zinfandel based, and you're here for
Zap.
To promote Zinfandel.
And people say Zap. What's Zap? ZAP. Zinfandel Advocates and Producers. We're looking for consumers to come and join Zap.
And because Zap is so great. I was so thrilled. I ran into Carol Shelton yesterday.
Yeah,
one of the judges.
I picked her up at the airport. She's one of my folks.
One of the great Zinfandel producers. And there's some Carol Shelton Zinfandel at the stores right now. Go get it.
No, there isn't.
She told me there was a couple bottles left in vintages. No, it's gone.
Not till September.
Oh,
it comes in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
let's pretend this is September. It just came in. No.
Well, September 2012. It's available, right?
Yeah.
We'll make it real specific. It should be here in the market. So, okay.
So tell me more a little bit about
how the Chardonnay won.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back then.
Sorry, just in case you missed the beginning, we're talking about the fact that in, I think it was 2008, 2009.
I don't remember.
2000.
It doesn't matter. We'll 2009.
2009. It was $2 Chuck Chardonnay that won the top prize, best of show.
They won Best Chardonnay
Best
The
Chardonnay
state.
in
now,
the state.
So we have roughly 400 Chardonnays, okay? And the judges who do the Chardonnay, there's probably 4 judges to a panel. There's 1, 2, 3 full-time panels doing Chardonnays, and then probably 1 or 2 others that are doing Chardonnays just to pick up because we're trying to keep less wines per judge. Okay, so all these judges go through and judge the wines, and what they're looking for, basically, as you know, we're looking for the golds.
Yep.
We know there's gold medal wines out there, and we try to find the gold medal wines. But once in a while, and it doesn't happen a lot, the 4 judges all agree on a wine right out of the box, and they say gold, 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 gold. We will elevate that wine to a double gold status.
Yeah.
Okay. So this particular year, only 2 wines out of the roughly 400 made it to double gold status, and judges don't know what they are.
Never.
They have no idea what it is. But one of the wines were very apple pearish style,
and
very lean, got a good acidity to it, and it was well balanced. People liked it.
Totally a brilliant wine.
It was really nice
but
wine.
kind of un-Californian.
Well, no, because California makes wines
Okay,
like that.
okay.
So, okay. The other wine that won was a wine that was gone through a malolactic fermentation, so it had a lot of butteriness to it. Been aged in oak. It has a French oak to it. It's got a lot of taste to it. It's a complex wine. Brilliant, brilliant wine, right?
So that
got a double gold too.
Yeah.
So now you have 2 different styles of Chardonnay, but both good at what they are. Well, in those
Pick a
days,
style.
it was ABC.
Yeah.
Anything but Chardonnay, right?
Yeah.
And so everybody was on the bandwagon. Oh, we don't like these over oak things. We don't like that. So I had 8 judges judging the final round of only those 2 wines, because those were the 2 best by all the judges.
Yeah.
So we wanted to pick one best.
Yes.
Well, that ABC with all the over oak, 3 judges picked it as a winner. The over oak, or not over,
the well-balanced oak, but
wine.
rich, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 judges picked that, 5 judges picked the non-oak because they didn't want to give it to that.
Yeah.
That non-oak, when we took to Vail, happened to be the 2 Buckchuck, right?
2 Buckchuck.
And the other wine, which was beautiful, was a Winty Brothers, Livermore Valley, beautiful reserve wine, and I thought that these are 2.
I've had it before, and I love it too.
But you know, if I would have had 8 judges, they could have picked the Winty Brothers just as well as they picked the other one. But they chose not to.
So how do you deal with that? Where you have 2 absolutely brilliant double gold wines? You can't give
that's why I
ties.
hire you guys.
But can you not? You cannot say this is too difficult. It's a tie. They're both brilliant, but stylistically different.
If I had 4 and 4,
yeah,
right, both all 8 judges, that 4 like one, 4 like the other, I would ask the judges to do it again, and if they didn't change their mind, then I would give it a tie. Okay, but it was definitely 5 and 3, so that was how I went with it.
Right,
So,
right.
There you go.
So
Best Chardonnay.
Okay, fantastic. So what surprises can I expect to hear coming out of California this year?
One of the things we're doing at the State Fair this year, which we started last year, we are tasting all the red wines in the morning. Usually what happens is you do all the light whites, then the Chardonnay, or, light whites, Rieslings, converts, the Sauvignon Blancs and Chardonnays, and then you do the heavier wines in the daytime. Yeah. We're going to do all the reds in the morning and save the lighter style wines for the afternoon. And we found it was very successful. Daryl Cordy did this in his tastings when, the very famous grocer out of Sacramento. He does this in his tastings, and I said, wow, this is kind of neat. And I did the tasting with him, and I go, you know what, this is not a bad way of doing it.
That's the way they've been doing it in Burgundy for hundreds of years. They always taste their reds first, and then the whites.
I didn't realize that.
Part of it is because the whites have higher acidity, and they're harder. And the red, but the other thing, of course, is that at the end of the day, your teeth aren't black.
So we're doing things like that. I mean, we're always trying to change things up, always trying to find things that are going to be a little better, easier for the judges to judge.
Are you contacted constantly or at all from other international fairs asking you, how do you do yours? And we want to improve ours?
No, because everybody seems to know how they're doing theirs, so they don't really care about anybody else's way they do it.
Right.
It's just not one of the things.
Yeah.
But one of the other things, while we're talking about competitions, because this could be a very, very interesting to your listeners. What are you, the listeners? Email?
No. My friend here. Okay. My friend. Me and my friend.
Okay. So I started running a competition called the Consumer Wine Awards.
Yes.
where we don't hire Konrad to come and
Right.
judge. We go out and we get consumers, and
It's a
any
people's
consumer in
choice.
the country is able to do it.
Yeah.
And we have it in March, and we go online about December, starting looking for consumers who want to judge.
Right.
They do about 35, 36 wines in a day, and it takes about 2.5 hours. And they have a board from 1 to 7, and they pick up their glass. And by the way, if they like Cabernet Sauvignon, then that's all they taste are Cabernet Sauvignon. If they like White Zinfandel, then they only drink White Zinfandel. We don't put a White Zinfandel drinker drinking
Right.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Wouldn't be
because
fair.
That wouldn't be fair. But if you like Cabernet, you got it. So if you like Zinfandel, you got Zinfandel. So what you got is this board from 1 to 7. 1 being I don't like it, and 7 I love it, and then everything between. Well, I don't care whether you smell it, taste it. We don't give you rules on how. We show you how we do it, but you don't do it any way you want. You smell. You can do whatever you want. Smell it, taste it, you want, but you taste it, and then you put it down on this board from 1 to 7. And I have clerks that come by and say, okay, that's wine number 3457, and it looks like you gave it a 6. That's correct. Okay, great. You can dump your wine and put it off to the side, and that's it.
Fantastic.
It's so cool.
Fantastic.
So you can go on the webpage
Is
and
this
see
only
what the
in the
winners are.
US?
No, we're open to wines all over the world, and we're looking for Canadian
Okay.
wines to be brought into our competition.
Great.
But they go to, here's a commercial, www.consumerwineawards.com.
Okay, that's better. Say that one more time.
www.consumerwineawards.com.
That's excellent.
And
So-
then what they'll do is just see some of the, I mean, it's not a commercial because we're not selling anything, but if they want to see what other consumers chose as a winner, what the Cabernet drinkers like best in Cabernet, what the White Zinfandel drinkers or the Riesling drinkers like best, you can go to that webpage and find out.
Fantastic.
It's pretty cool.
I know you got to run.
Yes,
So I just
I'm
want to say anything. If you'd like to contact Pooch directly, www.universityofwine.com. Is that
That'll
right?
work, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that gets you.
That'll get to me.
Okay, thanks. for
Even
talking
Consumer Wine Awards, I got a web, I'll be on there with an email too. So
Okay,
whatever's
okay.
easy.
Okay, Pooch Pucilowski is the chief judge for the California State Fair wine competition, and one of my best buds.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All right, bud.
Cheers.
All right, bye.